This is a video response to the Shafeness. SoPal here, in case you don't know. I guess you clicked on the video. My daughter, having just finished high school a few years ago, she talked about this quite a bit, what your son's going through. And between the stuff that the kids see on the news and the stuff that they train for at the school, specifically the high school level, they really ramped it up. I can't remember the name for the term, but they changed the policy from like a lockdown defense to like an offensive thing where the people are actually, it's like an Israeli method. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I used to know it. Anyway, that messed her up pretty good. She was already prone to anxiety, and it was not helpful in the least. And similar to you, the odds, me telling her about the odds didn't help. Now my experience too, though, is a little different. And while in junior high school, while it wasn't a school shooting, we did have a kid bring a gun to school. All of us were there on the courtyard. I saw it. I was right there near it, next to him, and the teacher walked up to him, and the kid put the gun to his head, pointed it at the teacher, pointed it at the officers. I mean, it was a different time. And here back a little ways, I told the story again to our class. We had a class reunion a while back, and everybody remembered that situation. It was a very uniting thing for us, and we all remembered it. That was a real event. You may know from psychology what happens in reality versus what happens when we imagine something or when we see it on the movies. There's something cognitively, I've heard, that are very similar. So you repeat that trauma constantly. So where I had that real event, but didn't happen again and sort of got past it, you know, these kids have it constantly drilled and hammered into their mind. So, jokingly, you remember that song in the 80s? It was by Julie Brown, Everybody Run, the Homecoming Queen's Got a Gun. It was a joke. It was a fucking joke back then. Fast forward my daughter's junior year, homecoming night. I get a frantic fucking call from her. She's cowered in a corner with her friends, saying there's a shooter here. They say there's a shooter here. There's a guy with a gun. There's no police. I don't see anything. What do I do? Literally with my daughter, I walk her through. I'm immediately, here I am. I gun up, get in the fucking car. I got her on the phone. Wife wants to come too. She's like, what's going on? And I said, daughter says there's a shooter at the school. I'm going. She's like, I'm going too. I'm like, shit. So I'm walking her through it. I got her on the phone. I'm like, can you see the nearest exit? Go to the nearest exit now. And kind of the layout of the school. And I said, here's what I want you to do. I said, get away from the school. Go to this wooded area near the school. I will meet you there. Don't go anywhere else unless you have to. And I met up with her. She was terrified. Her and her two friends. And it was a very sobering moment, as here I am, armed, going into this situation. I've always seen the last victim of a school shooting is the shooter themselves. Like, am I going to be facing down a youngster in this situation? Being fully prepared, you know, once I did that, my life would be over to one degree or another, whether I'm killed by police or by the shooter, or it just doesn't go right in court, or mentally I have to face the fact that I've killed a kid. But evil is evil. it's a mistake maybe to assign that it's a conscious thought that, you know, say a person plans and I'm going to do this, and evil, true evil, and, you know, speaking for myself, being from a dark place, you know, suicidal thoughts to homicidal thoughts. I mean, these things happen, and people are just sick. And I think there's more sick people out on the street because they don't institutionalize people like the way they used to. Used to be a manic depressive person would be living in a hospital. A chronically depressed person would be living in a hospital. I mean, we turn the crazies out, we turn the homeless out, we let them go insane, and this is what you get, man. Only advice I can give you, being past it when she's grown, just be solid for her. Listen when they talk. I had to learn to not apply my narrative, like, oh, tell her what I learned in a self-defense training, or use it to say, well, that's why I carry, you know. Because she sees me when we go to the mall and I'm putting a gun on, and, you know, sees me when we leave for a trip and I put a little something bigger in the car, plus the one on my person, you know. They see, and it's affected them. I don't have the solution, but it's like you said too, the freedom is, you know, do we sacrifice the freedoms of these crazy people? You know, as soon as you're suspecting that a person is, you know, like a red flag insane person, you're just going to incarcerate them in a mental hospital. Somebody's freedom has to be sacrificed to maybe prevent these situations. I don't know, maybe. Just a thought. Great video, tough subject, and I'm glad we're talking about it.